Dricus Du Plessis is the and still UFC middleweight champion after submitting rival Israel Adesanya in the fourth round of the UFC 305 headliner in Perth. Another great performance from Du Plessis. There seemed like some points in this fight where maybe he was fatiguing or Adesanya was catching some momentum, but he managed to squash all that in the fourth round, taking advantage of a mistake from his opponent, an opportunity that opened up for him, and finishing it with a rear naked choke. And he is now solidified his status as the champion. I know some people felt he didn't deserve this belt after the split decision win over Strickland in January, but he goes out there and beats arguably the second greatest middleweight of all time in Adesanya the way he did. You cannot doubt this man anymore, and I really don't know how he keeps doing it with his style and his approach. It's a completely unique thing all its own in the sport. He's something of a unicorn in there, but it is clearly working extremely well for him. He scores this victory now 8-0 in the UFC, and I'm really interested to see who can take this belt off him at 185 pounds. Some interesting potential matchups on the horizon for him, some big fights coming up, but I do think they're going to go the direction of what UFC President Dana White said prior to this event in a rematch with Strickland, who is chomping at the bit to get that one back. He wants to avenge that loss. He feels he lost unjustly and should have gotten an immediate rematch. That didn't happen, but Du Plessis keeps the belt, and I think it sets up a pretty big fight between those two. I would love to see if Du Plessis could go out there and make it more dominant, maybe get a finish as he has against so many opponents, and what adjustments Strickland would make too, and what I would imagine would be his probably last shot at the title if he loses that one. As long as Du Plessis holds that belt, I can't envision him getting another opportunity. So a lot at stake between these two. There is the history there, the rivalry. Du Plessis took some shots at Strickland at the post-fight press conference, and I just think we are in line for a huge fight. The question is, where will it happen? When will it happen? Will the UFC be able to execute an event in South Africa, as UFC President Dana White said prior to this event he'd want to do if Du Plessis got the job done? I don't know what the timing on that would be if they have to go another direction, but if they could do that, it would be a big deal, of course, for Du Plessis and for the UFC to have an event in Africa for the first time. So I think we need to give Dricus all his flowers. I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about him, but I think he silenced a lot of that criticism with this victory, and he is poised for a strong championship reign. But there is people coming. There's Strickland, there's the winner of Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev, who fight in October, and then other names coming up, Brendan Allen, Caio Borralho, and then the established people. Maybe Adesanya somehow works his way back at some point in time, but right now I do think a Strickland rematch is going to be next.